And here we are at the Chicago White Sox. And first off, let me say thank you to guys for almost getting me to 100 subscribers so far. So what we're going to do is at 100 subscribers, we are going to do some type of small giveaway. I may give away some packs that I've got here. Lord knows I've got wax laying around everywhere. Or a couple of cards or something. We'll work on that for the next video, what that giveaway is going to be, and then we'll do a 100 subscriber giveaway on that. But we're going to move right on into our list here, the Chicago White Sox, and I'm going to do like I've been doing in the last couple videos and leave off the players that are a bit shocking that I have left off this list, and then I'm going to give you the reason of why I left those players off the list. I realize sometimes that these omissions are a bit controversial, and I do tend to lean towards higher name players that I leave off the list, but I generally give my reasons why I have left them off of this list, because I know a lot of people feel like it is unjustified for me to leave them off of this list. So let the controversy begin. We're going to start off with Yoelqui Cespedes. Do I expect him to have his half-brother's big power? No. But he does have a little bit of pop himself, hitting 13 home runs in 2022 so far. His speed is what separates him from his brother, having stolen 20 bases already this year. Giannis never stole more than 16 in a season, and that was his rookie year, and then he never got anywhere near over 10 after that. The reason I don't have Yoelqui on this list does have a little bit to do with those genetics, though. Yoelqui is built like his half-brother and may even be a little more bottom-heavy than his brother was. It helps him on the base pass currently, but at only 5'9", which is 2 inches shorter than his brother, he already weighs 205 pounds. I'm not sure an addition of any more weight would benefit Yoelqui in the outfield, even with his plus arm. Add to the fact that the White Sox, when healthy, have one of the most stacked outfields in the game. I'm sure Yoelqui won't have any run-ins with wild boars, but he may get hung up a season or two behind some of those outfielders in the White Sox and higher up prospects in this organization. So this next omission, we're going to be pulling a Peyton Manning here and calling it a little Omaha audible, because when I finished up doing the research on this, I had left Jose Rodriguez off of the list with a purpose, but I left Jose Rodriguez off of the list, and as the world would have it, situations have changed, my friends. Situations have changed over the last just few days. So I'm going to give you the breakdown of what I had on Rodriguez, and I'm going to give you that audible that I'm calling at the end. I love Rodriguez's speed, stealing 40 bases so far, and he has a fair amount of pop to make him a serviceable player, although those power numbers are down a little bit since his move up to Double-A. At 21 years old, he has room to grow as well, both physically and as a ball player. The issues with him are mainly the talent ahead of him in the bigs, namely Tim Anderson, and some of the other players on this list that are farther up in the farm system. Anderson's currently on the IL for the next few weeks, but Garcia has been filling in pretty well at shortstop, and even Sosa has got a starter too. Gonzalez would be next up on the list, who we have discussed in previous videos, if either one of them were to struggle down the road. In any other situation, Rodriguez would be definitely higher up on this list and would have made the list. But with Anderson being signed through 2024, even with his struggles and injuries this year, Anderson will be holding down the fort at short for at least the next 2 seasons. Rodriguez has played a few games at second base, which the White Sox could use an upgrade at, but so have many other players on this list who may get called up before Rodriguez. Chicago has a history of prioritizing power over speed, as most teams do, and Rodriguez may get stuck for a season or two waiting on someone or something big to happen ahead of him. Okay, so here is going to be that audible that we were talking about. And this is one of those where situations change quickly in all sports, especially in baseball. So you had Tim Anderson, who I had already said was on the IL, and that Garcia was playing short for him. Well, now Garcia has gone down, so Anderson's out with his finger injury. I think it was a finger. And Garcia is out with a back injury. So they now got Sosa, and they called up, like I had said, Rami Gonzalez, that's who they would go to next. They called up Rami Gonzalez, so the two of them are going to be splitting time at short in the meantime. That's going to cause the players that are behind to move up. And that's now going to move, in my opinion, Rodriguez higher up on this list, especially depending, or higher into the list, especially depending on how long Garcia is going to be out. And I know that Anderson's going to be out at least 6 weeks. So it's going to move him up, and it's going to move some of the players up behind him as well. So I would look here soon to see if Rodriguez were to make a jump up to AAA. In that case, I would stick him somewhere in here. I don't know where yet. I don't know where I would put him because that Garcia news just kind of dropped today. So I'm not quite sure where I would put him in the list. I'd have to go back and reevaluate everything. But I would now, based on that, put Rodriguez in this list somewhere. So after all that long-winded talking, we're going to get to our list. Number 10 on the list is going to be Tyler Neslony. He's in AAA, plays left field, right field. He's 6'1", 190 pounds, and he's 28 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are hitting .302 with 11 home runs, 50 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, an .879 OPS, and 328 at-bats. That chase card on him is going to be a minor league card, so don't even sweat it. I already know what you're thinking, that I'm probably a little biased. Neslony was selected in 2016 by the Atlanta Braves, but never really seemed to get going for Atlanta, unfortunately, being traded to the White Sox halfway through the 2020 season. He had a few glimpses of what the Braves saw in him originally in 2019, hitting .292, but 2 long stints on the IL cost him a good part of that year. The move to the White Sox, however, and maybe a little more time to heal, has caused something to click in Neslony. With the Atlanta farm system in 2021, he hit .164 in 19 games with only 1 home run. But after his move to the White Sox organization, he hit .355 with 7 home runs in 38 games in 2021. I'm not sure if it's just the fact that he was up against younger players since he was a 4-year senior before entering the draft, or the new team, new player type of mentality. But with 84 healthy games under his belt this season, he has put up great numbers in AA and has been moved up to AAA. Although he has struggled a little with that call-up. In the short term, if he can figure things out in AAA, he may have a chance at a September call-up with the Sox struggles of keeping a consistently healthy outfield. But in the long term, he will face stumbling blocks similar to Cespedes and others on this list. Number 9 is Rowdy Reed. He's in AA. He's a catcher / first baseman, more first baseman recently, but he's 6 foot, 220 pounds, and he's 28 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are .291 with 15 home runs, 62 RBIs, a .926 OPS, and 265 at-bats. That chase card on him is actually an affordable one. It is a 2018 Topps Chrome Auto, and it runs about $3 to $6. Reed is an older player as well, and as much as I say I don't like carrying older players on these lists, sometimes it provides an opportunity for us to make a quick buck on some MLB debuts. This is not investment advice, but with Reed as well as Neslony on this list, I'm hoping to catch lightning in a bottle. Reed has generally been a catcher in the organization, but recently has been playing a ton of first base as well, like I said earlier. Probably more so for the fact that he's 28 years old than anything else. Grandal's struggles behind the plate for the White Sox presents an interesting opportunity, and the way Reed has hit the ball this season, he could make a nice jump up in September. Reed hit 20 home runs in 2019 and was on pace to break that number in 2021, hitting 8 home runs in 28 games, if it weren't for being an injury-shortened season. This season, and he's hitting .291, which is the highest of his career, and his .386 on-base percentage is very impressive at a position that the White Sox may need a little relief in. Zavala has done a good job giving Grandal some days off, but down the stretch, a third catcher may not be a bad idea, and may even give Abreu a day or two off at first. Reed is in a kind of now or never scenario, but has a good situation setting up ahead of him, possibly. Especially if a catcher were to go down, which is not a good situation, but it presents an opportunity. Carlos Perez, who is ahead of Reed, has struggled over the last couple of months, which may allow Reed to bypass AAA in that case. Although Reed's August has cooled off a little bit. Number 8 on this list is Cole Seamus. He's in high A. He's a starting pitcher. He's 6'1", 190 pounds, and he's 22 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are 2-2 with a 3.65 ERA, a 1.23 WHIP, and 76 strikeouts and 61 2/3 innings. That chase card on him is nothing. There's nothing available. I couldn't even find a minor league card. Seamus jumped at the opportunity to sign as an undrafted free agent with his father's old team. In 2021, he was one of the best bullpen arms in the White Sox organization with a 1.71 ERA in 13 games. In 2022, however, he made the transition to starter and was cruising along nicely, throwing 41 innings and only giving up 11 runs. But a right forearm strain in early June cost Seamus a month, and since his return, they've been slowly easing him back into longer outings. He's been stretched out with each start, going 1 inning in his return and climbing to 4 1/3 innings 2 starts ago. He went 3 2/3 tonight, or last night actually. The strikeouts are coming back as well, carrying just under a 1-to-1 strikeout to inning ratio since his return. If the Sox want to transition him to a starter, it is going to take a little bit of time. But with his talent in the bullpen, they may just scrap that idea moving forward if he were to struggle. If the move to the bullpen role is in his future, he may end up a very valuable back-end option for the White Sox in the future. Investment-wise, and again, this is not investment advice, remaining and flourishing as a high strikeout starter would be better. But as a valuable piece of a major league roster, the pen may be where his best option is. Or I guess he could start swinging the bat like his brother and hope for success that way. So as I'm going through the list, I've kind of decided that this is where I would stick Jose Rodriguez if I had gone back and redone this list and recalculated it all. I'm at number 7. This is Andy Atwood. He's in single A. He's a second baseman, shortstop. He's 6'1", 195 pounds, and he's 25 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are hitting .295 with 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, and 880 OPS and 112 at bats. That chase card is going to be kind of like the other ones in this list. Nothing at all. Atwood has always been a solid hitter and all-around player, including his time at Oregon State and UTRGV, where he was a plus 300 hitter with both power and speed. The last 2 seasons he'd been playing with the Great Falls Voyagers, where he was hitting .333 with 3 home runs, 8 stolen bases, and 23 games, before signing with the White Sox. Since signing with the White Sox, he's remained consistent, hitting .295 with 5 home runs and 33 ball games. He is a bit older for single A, but he is already a highly polished player and shouldn't require much more development moving forward. He gets on base well, carrying an impressive .398 on base percentage, and should have plenty of opportunity to move up, as second base is a position the Sox are light at throughout the ranks. Although they do carry a fair amount of shortstop talent that could easily make that switch. Atwood has also mixed in a few games at short just to keep his bat in the lineup, and having a greater range of position may benefit him moving forward. Atwood also threw a third of an inning this year, walking 1 and giving up a hit before retiring the final batter. Don't count on him being the next Shohei Ohtani, though. Number 6 is Ben Norman. He's in high A, plays left field, right field. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's 24 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are hitting .306 with 10 home runs, 31 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and a .912 OPS and 160 at bats. That chase card on him is nothing. I know you guys are getting tired of hearing that, but it's nothing. Ben Norman, who the Sox found playing in Great Falls as well, was probably how they stumbled across Atwood. Norman was the first player to be signed by an MLB team since they went independent in 2020 and has not disappointed. Norman hit .356 with 13 home runs and 163 at-bats for Great Falls after putting in 2 years playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes. In 2022 so far, he's hit .306 with 10 home runs and 160 at-bats. Having a little bit more polish already to his game, Norman could move up a little quicker in the system than most on this list. If he can keep his average above 300 and can continue showing off that power as he climbs the ranks, Norman will have a shot at being on the cusp when some of these current outfield contracts come up. He is currently behind Cespedes, so he may move kind of in step with him, although Cespedes plays center field, right field, and Norman plays more left field, right field. So they may end up on the same squad at some point. Both are 24, but the fact that Norman is 5 inches taller than Cespedes, but is 5 pounds lighter, makes me more concerned about that Cespedes worry that I had earlier. Number 5 is Tommy Summer. He's in high A. He's a starting pitcher. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, and he's 23 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are 5-6 with a 2.82 ERA, a 1.11 WHIP, 104 strikeouts, and 95 2/3 innings. And yet again, that chase card is non-existent. Summer was the Friday night starter for Indiana University and definitely had his highs and lows, but carried a 1+ strikeout to inning ratio all along the way. He has kept those big strikeout numbers so far in single A and high A, although it's been slightly below that 1+ ratio since moving up to high A. Since the move to high A, his ERA has also gone up a little bit from 3.1 or to 3.10 from 2.75 that he had in low A. But he's held batters to a 169 batting average since the call-up, compared to a 218 batting average that he was giving up in low A. In June, he was named the Chicago White Sox minor league starting pitcher of the month. If he can continue to make strides keeping runners off those base paths and can maintain those big strikeout numbers, the 6'4" Summer will start climbing the ranks within the White Sox organization. Number 4 is Duke Ellis. He's in high A. He's an outfielder. He's 6'2", 180 pounds, and he's 24 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are hitting .269 with 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, and 46 stolen bases, and a .748 OPS and 357 at-bats. That chase card on him, yet again, nada. Despite his groovy name, Duke is not a world-renowned jazz musician, or hopefully won't be listening to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds with Doc anytime soon. The only trips he'll be taking is around the base paths. His speed makes him an instant force to be reckoned with. At the University of Texas, he stole 32 straight bases without being thrown out. And in the minors, he's only been thrown out 12 times in 81 attempts. In his second season in the minors, he's raised his on-base percentage by 85 points, upped his walk percentage, brought his batting average up to .269 from .200 last year, and is hitting home runs at a higher clip. If he can continue to grow and get better each season, he will continue to move up for the White Sox. The concern with him is his high strikeout rate for a guy who they need to get on base so they can move him around. And the fact that the White Sox, when healthy, have one of the strongest outfields and top outfield prospects in the game. He would need continued injuries, which no one ever wants to see, or would need to be moved to another team, or have the White Sox move some guys ahead of him. But with his speed, teams will find a spot for him, especially if the power numbers keep increasing. Number 3 on this list is Rowdy Vieira. He's in high A. He's a starting pitcher. He's 6'4", 185 pounds, and he's 22 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are 0-2 with a 1.73 ERA, a 1.04 WHIP, and 37 strikeouts in 26 innings. That chase card on him, he's got a couple different ones, but in my opinion, the most sought after currently is a 2020 Panini Contenders draft ticket auto, which is about $15 to $20. But like I said, he's got other rookies around that same value. Rowdy Vieira won gold medals in the 2004 Olympics and silver medals in the 2000 and 2008 Olympics. Wait a minute. That would make him at least 40 years old and not what I would typically call a prospect. That does remind me, though, of September 25th, 1965. Satchel Paige got up out of his rocker, literally, and took the mound for 3 innings of scoreless baseball, turning back Father Time and putting on a show at 59 years old against the mighty Red Sox. Only Yaz, whose father had once faced Paige in a semi-pro game, was able to get a hit off of him. Billy Bryan, Paige's catcher for Kansas City, said about Paige, he threw slow, then he kept throwing slower, and then he kept getting outs. That was good times. Oh man, where was I? Rowdy Vieira's son, that's who I was talking about, was following in his father's footsteps before he defected from Cuba via the Canadian American Association. He was a top pitching prospect in the international draft in 2020 to 2021. He featured 5 pitches, a fastball that now occasionally touches 100 miles an hour, a curveball that is just a hair off of what I would call plus, and an above-average changeup. The White Sox have cut down on his use of the other 2 pitches, really, which I think were a slider and a splitter. I think it was a splitter and a slider. Could have been a sinker, but I think it was a splitter and a slider. He has a few minor shoulder problems last year and had a grade 1 lat strain to start this season. So the White Sox are taking it easy with him and slowly building up his innings, not going more than 4 innings in any of his 9 games so far this year. But in those short outings, he has looked unstoppable, striking out 37 batters in 26 innings and carrying a tiny 1.73 ERA. Once the White Sox get him stretched out, look for him to be a solid starting pitcher for the White Sox in no time. Number 2 is going to be Colson Montgomery. He's in high A. He's a shortstop. He's 6'4", 205 pounds, and he's 20 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are hitting .303 with 9 home runs, 38 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and an .881 OPS and 294 at-bats. That chase card on him is going to be a 2022 Bowman Chrome Auto, and it's $150 to $165. Montgomery is number 38 on Baseball America's top 100 prospect list, and rightfully so. He was the state of Indiana's high school athlete of the year, and he holds a lot of basketball records at his high school as well. He was offered a scholarship spot on Indiana University's baseball team and could have had a chance at a walk-on spot for the basketball program as well, but decided to enter the draft and was signed by the White Sox. He is tall at shortstop, which apparently is becoming a thing within the minor league systems, standing 6'4" and drawing a lot of comparisons to Corey Seager. Unlike Seager, though, he walks a lot, sporting 52 free passes in 80 games so far this year. This is what helps give him a lofty .418 on-base percentage. The power has not quite grown to expectation, but at 20 years old and with his big frame, he has plenty of time to build to be a 25 to 30 plus home run hitter. If he can add a little more muscle and resist that temptation to swing for the fences every time and take those walks at the rate he currently is, he may get called up with more hype than even Seager did. I would keep an eye on Tim Anderson's contract since he isn't a free agent until after 2020 or until 2024, and his move to the bigs may correlate along with that. Although, as we discussed with Rodriguez, Sosa and Gonzalez have been picking up a few games with Anderson's recent injuries and early struggles. All right, so number one, I'm hoping some people actually agree with this one since I have had some comments that people don't always agree with who I've got in the number one slot. But number one is going to be Oscar Colas. He's in Double-A. He's first base, center field, right field. He's 6'1", 209 pounds, and he's 23 years old. His 2022 minor league stats are hitting .318 with 17 home runs, 64 RBIs, 1 stolen base, a .913 OPS, and 337 at-bats. That chase card on him is going to be a 2022 Bowman Chrome Auto, and it runs about $100 to $110. Some of you may have heard of the recent legend of the Cuban Ohtani, but alas, the White Sox want him for his bat and not his arm. So I won't waste time talking about his 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Colas comes over as a 2022 international draft player and joins his fellow Cuban contingent players like Abreu and Grandal and Luis Robert and Cespedes and Vieira, just to name a few within the White Sox organization. He, as Captain Nemo would say in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, walks a different path though. He made his way to the White Sox via Japan with 3 years in their minor league system and 7 glorious games with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. I hope that's close enough. Due to a falling out, the Hawks did not re-sign him, and Colas made the decision to sit out baseball entirely for 2 seasons in order to be eligible to sign with the White Sox. Colas has power on top of power, and his arm in the outfield is a cannon. He doesn't have much age or room to grow physically, but has been working on his swing to bring down his abysmal strikeout to walk numbers that he had in Japan. In Japan, he received more comparisons to Jack Elliott than Shohei due to the hole in his swing. But since coming to America has for sure cut down on those strikeout numbers and increased those walk numbers. Colas played some first base in the past, but is now mainly just an outfielder. But the willingness to learn and play multiple positions may make an easier path for Colas to crack the White Sox 40-man roster. Hopefully, Chicago cracks open a frosty Colas soon. Score one for the dad jokes. And that's going to bring the Chicago White Sox to an end. We're going to wrap it up. Our next team is going to be the Cincinnati Reds. Please put down in the comment section anybody you want to see me talk about in the Reds one, or anyone you disagree with in this list that they should be higher up, that I missed somebody. Please let me have the opportunity to research stuff and see where I may have been right or wrong on things. And I will definitely respond back to you guys with my opinions, and I will look into anybody that you guys want to comment about. We're going to go ahead and do, like I said, that subscriber giveaway on the next video. I will figure out exactly what I'm going to give away. I don't know. I think I got some 90 Topps packs. I got some 91 Donruss. I've got plenty of loose cards just kind of hanging out. You know, so whatever you guys feel like you know, if you got any suggestions for the giveaway, let me know. I just appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I appreciate you guys subscribing. So if you want, go ahead and subscribe over here if you want to get entered into that giveaway, and check out my next video over here. The bug just